Hi, welcome to lesson 20. We have a few lessons ahead of us that are great little lessons and things that we have actually already covered in our extra work. We're starting here today on page 142 and we'll go through 147. We don't have any teacher duets, so we'll just go ahead and play these examples for you in a little bit, and then you can just practice them on your own and hopefully get them. If you need to, go back to this video when you feel like your song is ready and listen to the example and just make sure that the song sounds like the example. So we're going to get started with this first page here. We're talking about primary chords in C major. So we have actually already done this, covered this. We're going to talk about the first, the fourth, okay, and the fifth chords. So this is just my intervals. Here's my first, second, third, fourth. So if I built a chord off my fourth, this is what it would look like. We've been just inverting it to here, taking this C and putting it back down below. Okay, and we've been doing a 5-7, but my fifth chord, if I were to build off of my fifth interval, would be here. Okay, so instead we take it down to a 5-7 most of the time. Anyways, so that is different, but if you look up here, you can see that example. You've got your C chord in the first position. Up to the fourth interval, you have this F chord. And here on the fifth interval, you've got this G chord. Okay, so we're going to come down here and we're going to play this song through. And we're just really diving into these chords a little bit more. So we're going to play the chords together and we're moving up octaves. And we have our pedal down also, just so you notice. And then we're going to break the chords up. Da, 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 da. Okay. And then over here we're going on to the fourth chord. I'm doing the same thing, breaking it up and moving higher in the octaves. And then here's our fifth chord. And we're doing the same thing. And then it says take it back to the beginning. We have a D, C, Al, Fa. So take it back to the beginning and play until we get to here. So we do have some dynamics. We're starting loud here. We have a diminuendo here into soft, okay? And you do have that on each of these. So let's give it a try. So we're starting with our hand position here on the C pentascales. Fifth finger on C, first finger on C. And we're just going to move up. I'm going to go ahead and push my pedal down and get me started. I'm playing loud and then soft at the end. So, and I'm not going to play too loud because I don't want to wake up my children, but you're welcome to play really loud on your piano. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cross over your left, and then move your right. Then break it up. Cross your hand over. And get quiet. And then we're coming up to the fourth position, doing the same thing. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Quiet it down. And then up to the fifth position. Crossing over, crossing over. And I'm going back to the beginning of my song, back to the first position. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cross over. And done. Okay, so hopefully you can get that really easy this week. Then the second page over here, we have just what we learned just before too. We're going to go ahead and take this fourth chord, the F, A, C, and drop the C below So it's easy to just play right after my C chord. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we'll look here. You're gonna go ahead, play that the root of C, the fifth of G, and then you move that up to the A and add the F in, and then back to the first. So you can play that a few times. 1, 2, 3, and then you can do it with your right. Okay. All right, so you can play that a few times. And notice your fingering, it's saying that you do move that 5 finger up and use the 3 finger still, okay? Here, you're moving the 1 finger up and using your 2 finger. I actually, yeah, I do that as well. That's funny. For a second I was thinking I used my 3 finger, but okay. And you can do this little warm up. I'll give you an example of that after we talk through Hear This Rise and Shine. So this hopefully is a familiar tune to you. We've got 4/4 timing. You can play the right hand alone, it says, and then play the hands together to get used to the song if you'd like. But here we've just got our chords in the bottom. We've got our first and then a fourth and then a first and then a fourth. First, first, fourth. First, 5, 7, okay, or G7. Fourth, first. Now, if you look up here, they're starting to give you these chords, right? I think we might have seen this before too, but you could really play this song, and this is a lot of jazz music does this. They'll just give you the chords. So you can just really play this song. Even if you had just the right hand, you could add in the left hand on your own just by using these chord references. This is how the guitar works a lot of times too. They'll just give you the chord and you just play that on the guitar. And that's how you play it. So it's really important to learn these chords, and makes music playing and writing a lot easier. So I'm going to give you an example of this song as well. You have a few accent marks in here. Just hit those pretty loud, and then a staccato bunk, and that's about it. Another staccato down here. So I'm going to give you an example of this first, and then of this. Here we go. So first is this 4th chord warm up in C. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we'll do Rise and Shine. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And notice your chords are tied down below, so you just play them the one time. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Change finger. What did I not do in there? I didn't do something. Oh, I pedaled at the beginning. Sorry about that. I should have only pedaled just a tiny bit at measure 9, but hopefully you can do that without making my mistake. See, just pedal here. All right, and here we're gonna do our last song for our lesson today. We will do a little bit of extra work, but this is the last song in the book, where it's called Trumpet Concerto. So what we're doing here is we're breaking up these chords, bum, 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 and just using parts of them. And you'll notice in a lot of your songs that they will do this. They'll break them up or just use the top or the bottom, things like that. They use chords in lots of different ways. And you have a lot of eighth notes over here. Da 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 da. So make sure you're not going too fast at the beginning, because once you hit all these eighth notes, you don't want to be cruising through them. You have lots of staccatos and lots of dynamics. Okay, here we have crescendo. This is how they write crescendo sometimes, so remember that. So you start mezzo forte, medium loud, go down to piano, but the crescendo a little bit, and up to forte with some staccatos here, some legatos. Okay, down to piano again, crescendoing to mezzo forte, and let's see, why does it say crossover? You've got a lot of fingering changes here. So here are your 2 fingers on D. Oh, I see. So here your thumb is going to play this C. You're going to cross your 3 finger over to this B, just like kind of like you're doing a scale. So you'd be here. You're going to cross that 3 finger over. Okay. And you're going to continue down, piano, forte, ritardando, with a legato to a staccato, accent at the end. So let's give this one a try. So hand positioning, my thumb is starting on G in my right hand, pinky on C in my left. So we'll count off and start. 1, 2, ready, go. So that's the last song in the book. For this week's extra work, we are going to do something. So for our extra work today, we're learning a new scale, and we're starting into our flats. On your scale sheet, we're gonna start with 1 flat. So if you look at the bottom of your scale sheet, you'll see that we're going to do F. The F key of F has 1 flat, but the fingering for these scales is different than for the sharps. And what we have to do, there is a little rule that in piano you don't usually play the black keys with your thumb. Sometimes you do, but you try to avoid that. So with these scales, we're trying to avoid that. So instead of going 1, 2, 3 under up to the black key, just because that causes you to have to really turn your hand. In the right hand, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So it's a little bit opposite of the fingering that we've been doing, okay? So, and you're gonna end there on your, if you're ending on your 4 finger, and then coming back down. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so as your beginning, it is 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now the left hand is pretty much the same. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay, then coming down, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that's the difference in these. So I want you to definitely practice them separate this week and get your brain trained to do this different fingering. And then we can put them together next lesson. And with this, I want you to go ahead and do the F chord progression where we have our first, our fourth, we are going to hit this B flat, so F, B flat, D. Then back to our first. And then here for our seventh, you're going to be on E, B flat, C. And then back to a first. So first, fourth, first, 5, 7, first. Okay. Now, ear training today. So I am feeling a little bad about the ear training. I hope it is not too difficult. I've looked back through and it might be something that's a real challenge. So if it's too much, don't worry about it. You can get there later. But if you are enjoying the ear training and trying something new, I encourage you to keep on doing it. It is good for you, and it helps you to be able to just sit down at the piano, and if someone says, hey, let's sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, you can just sit down and you can play it. Today though, I'm gonna do one for you that's a little difficult for me even. I haven't practiced it too much, but we're gonna do the Star Wars theme, and we're just going to do the first part. If you want to do the whole thing, totally welcome to do that, and I'll give you a little example of that. But we're going to just start with our right hand and get our right hand really good, and then we can progress on into the left. So this is you're gonna really have to bounce around on these keys and find these notes. So start on we're only doing the key of C. So today we're gonna start here on G. Dun, dun. Now I'm not gonna do it too many times for you, just because I want you to use your ear to learn this. You can use mine as a little kind of a cheat sheet sometimes. Now, you could just do that. And call it quits, or you can move on to the this is where it gets a little tricky. You're gonna have to so there's I don't know. You could do that too. Anyways, I added in a little like B chord. Okay, but here comes the first part again. So anyways, that's a little bit difficult, but I want you to just give it a try. Just use your ear. You could just do the top hand. You could just do the first part, but challenge yourself a little bit. And this is where I really love piano, is where I get to use my ear and try something new like this. So I hope you enjoy it. If not, forget about it. Just do the book. So I hope you have a great week this week, playing your songs and getting them ready. And getting them passed off to whoever. Play your songs for somebody else. And I'll hopefully see you next lesson.